So I'm just going to click on this layout 1. And usually the very first thing that you need to do is create a template, and we've kind of already have one, so we're not going to be too concerned about creating one. So I've started a new Civil 3D drawing. So this is a brand new drawing. And the next thing I need to do is kind of configure my layout tab here. So I'll click on this first one and I'll choose rename, and you can give it a kind of a page number designation. So I'm just gonna say, for example, maybe this is L1.1 master. I recommend taking a look at the NCS pen tables or the NCS website, the NCS standards, to make sure that you follow their standards, because likely in practice that's what they're going to be using. So this is really not going to be a master plan thing. This is going to be more like a template. Maybe I'll just make it all caps. So this is my template, and then I'll just copy and paste this template instead of having to start a new layout each time in a drawing. So once I'm done renaming this, now I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to go to the Page Setup Manager. So once I'm inside the Page Setup Manager, I'm going to click Modify, and I should get this page setup thing for the template layout. So this is where I'm going to need to set some settings. So over here on the right side, I want to choose my NCS pen table, and I want to choose Display Plot Styles. Over here where it says printer and plotter, we always choose our PDF. Now if you're using remote desktop, you need to scroll down this list and not choose the plotter that you're remote desktoping to. You may get some kind of undocumented features. So you want to get the Adobe PDF that is for the computer that you're actually using. Down here where it says paper size, we commonly use ArchD. And then over here we can see that 1 inch is set to 1 foot. If this is not properly set, it usually has to do with the units that you have set in your drawing. If it says 1:1, it may be that you're using metric instead of imperial, so make sure that you have your drawing template or the correct template opened. So let's take a look at everything else here. This looks good. Looks good. So pretty much you're just going to match these settings here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then click Close. And once I do that, you notice that my viewport is really small and tiny here to the lower left, and then this is the rest of my drawing. I'm not going to resize this viewport yet. I won't do that until I actually import my drawing templates. So now I want to insert my standard title block. So I'm going to type in insert. And actually, before I type insert, there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that are set correctly so that this will plot correctly. The first thing I need to make sure is that my layer 0 is my default layer, and you can see right now that it's not. So I need to right click on this and set this as my current layer. The second thing that I need to also check for is I need to make sure that my elevation is also set to 0, and my thickness is also set to 0, and it is. And of course you need to be in plan view and not in some rotated 3D view, and you also need to make sure that you are in a 2D wireframe. And I know that both of these are true because this is a default drawing that I've opened. So I can see I have a 2D UCS icon down here, and I'm looking in top view, which is basically plan view. And I'm not in any kind of weird view. I'm in my 2D wireframe here, so I know that this is going to work. If you don't have these settings set, you may find that your line weights are not going to set properly, or the NCS pen table will not import properly, or maybe it appears that it's importing properly, but when you go to plot it's kind of skewed. So now I'm going to type in insert, since I went through and checked all of that. And then I'm going to click browse, and I'm in my details project folder. So I'm going to go into the Civil 3D folder. Again, I'm going into templates, and what I'm looking for is this title block, 24 by 36. You get a little preview over here. So I'll go ahead and click open. The next area I want to pay attention to is my block units, and I can tell you that the NCS pen tables, or not the NCS pen tables, the title block template was created using feet, so if your drawing is in inches, you'll need to do the appropriate conversion, and you'll have to do it over here for both X, Y, and Z, or you can just click in uniform and do it only here. But since the title block template was made in feet and my drawing is in feet, I don't need to do any type of conversion here. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And once I do that, another common mistake that students like they made is they tend to want to click somewhere. You don't need to click anywhere. You just type in 0, 0, 0. This particular title block template was made in such a way that when you type in 0, 0, 0, it will come in exactly where it needs to be. Now a lot of people are tempted to try to move it a little bit more over to the left so that they can have some space here to the right. You don't actually want to do that. And the reason why is because the drawings are actually binded here on the left side, so you need to have a little bit of space here on the left for a binding mechanism to bind these drawings. So you definitely want to leave it as this. This particular title block template was created by Professor Howard Hahn, and he developed it based on his many years of practice, so he knows that these are all the things that you're going to need. And he tried to follow the NCS standard as much as he possibly could. He just replicated it here so that you would have what you need. So now, what do we do about this viewport? Well, we can actually click on this now, and I can move it. And usually what I want to do is I want to turn off my snap. I don't want it to snap to the corner up here. I just want to come close. Maybe about here. And then over here, maybe about there. And like I said, sometimes you may have multiple viewports, so you know this viewport may be really small down here or maybe up here. It is possible to have multiple viewports in a drawing. So once I'm done, I'll just hit escape.